Killarney. October. You get what you get. You don't get upset. These guys are only right half the time anyway, so who knows what we're really in for. As is often the case, the drive-in was one of the best parts of the trip. I don't get a chance to go out that often. I like to savor every moment that I get out here. Campers, just stopped for a pee. We're in Killarney, a new adventure underway. Gonna do a little base camp kind of program, late October. This is a surprisingly nice morning considering the forecast. I'm heading into David Lake. Nothing too crazy, but you know, pretty full day of paddling and a couple of portages. It's gonna be my base camp for like 5 days. And I'm gonna hike Silver Peak and check out a bunch of other cool stuff. I have a new shelter that I've yet to set up before. Never do that. I think it'll be fine. It's basically a full coverage tent unit for the hammock. The Onetigris Rockdomus. By the end of the day today, we're looking at probably some snow, some rain, definitely some snow into tomorrow. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday are supposed to be a lot nicer. It's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be tough. You'll be able to tell by the title of the YouTube video just how crazy it's gonna be. Huge rain, huge storm, big winds, bear attack, fell out of my boat. Hopefully none of those things happen to me today or over the next 5 days. This last little stretch of road on the way in is beautiful. So I've arrived at the permit office, but there was nobody in there. But there was just a note saying, honk your horn and leave your lights on and someone will be right over. So sure enough, here comes somebody. Alrighty campers, chilly ass morning. Like, very cold. And the guy who gave me the permits was like, are you sure you want to go out there? But I'm gonna be fine. I got all the gear I need. I got lots and lots of layers. I got more layers than a coffee crisp. I've got some little cedar logs cut off, and I have my packs riding up on them just in case the water does fill up the boat a little bit if I run into some rain. That way they won't get too soaked on the bottom. I always bring some garbage bags to kind of wrap them into just in case. Nobody likes wet gear. I hope the little DIY wind socks are doing their thing. Just taking a little breather here. I had forgotten how beautiful Killarney really is. I was able to get out of the wind for a little bit. The wind's not too bad, but gusts, my God. Every now and then it's like, yeah, I'm not moving forward. So I'm tucked in here in a little bay, just enjoying the lack of wind. And still a fair bit of color. I thought we would be well past any of the bright oranges and reds, but some of the young maples are still turning, as you can see. I'm just gonna creep along the shore here for a bit, hug it tightly. Hopefully we can avoid some of that wind anyway. And man, is there anything better than creeping along the shore in a canoe? I don't think so. All right, just pulled over for a minute. The winds have really picked up. I'm sure glad it's dry. So when I talked to the permit dude there, he said I'm the only one out here on this whole loop. I'm really hoping to get camp kind of set up before it gets too nasty and cold tonight. The wind was up and down, and I managed to catch a few zen moments in the narrows in between lakes. All right, we're just about to start the big portage. After I grind off 14 pounds of carbon. Very wet. Hey, bear. Give one of those every now and then. A little something to be wary of. And this time of year, they're out and about, trying to put on as many pounds as possible. Hopefully not in human flesh. It's quite the view that greets you when you come into David Lake. You can see Silver Peak, which must look like nothing to you on this camera, but it's pretty impressive. Lots of color up there still. Pretty lake. The loons are saying hello. Okay, I'm gonna hightail it to my site. See you there. The Rockdomus, it's not set up perfectly, but loving the room. And there's just no wind in here. It shall be fine. Well, I don't need much wood for tonight, so this'll do. I'm just gonna have a nice small fire. I don't wanna burn up my tarp. But first, I'm gonna lie down. Have myself a little nap. Oh, yes. See.
you in about an hour, kids.
It's getting a little nasty. The guy that gave me the permits said that at one point they were talking about 20 to 25 centimeters of snow. Let's hope that's not the case. I'm loving this huge erratic on this site. Monster. Cold, man. Cold, cold, cold. Got the canoe up here as an additional windbreak. I'm probably going to rebuild this tarp at some point, but it's doing a pretty good job for now. It's certainly not going to go anywhere. So things worked out pretty well perfect today. I made the right decision by getting up, like I was up this morning at about 4 and away by, I think, at 4:30, and was at the permit office there 9:15. I was the only car in the parking lot. Who here has been to Bell Lake Access Point and had not a single other car in the parking lot? Maybe if you're winter camping, which I guess this is bordering on. I've just hung my food. I'm full. I'm tired. And I have a nice windless hammock scenario waiting for me. And it's snowing. The wood's dry. Well, poo time. Crispy morning. Beautiful. The loons are really active this morning. They're probably all yelling at each other. Time to go! Let's get out of here! Rally the troops. I was a little chilly in the hammock last night, but basically warm. It wasn't waking me up. I just felt my back was a little cool when I got up this morning. I need a beefier quilt for these temps. But yeah, quite a sight to wake up to this morning. There's at least 3, if not 4 pairs of loons chatting to each other. Screw you, Bob. Yeah, whatever, Steve. I told you it was gonna snow. Oh, you think you know it all, Bob. Morning sun trying to bust through there. Wow, what a beautiful morning. So it doesn't look too bad. High of 6, low of -2. I assume that'll be tonight. But precipitation only 10%. Sun is out. Got 5 layers on top. Merino tee, merino thin long sleeve, fleece, fleece, wind layer. Good to go. Today, Thursday, is going to be a wander around, take photographs, get some really nice firewood kind of day. My kind of day. Woo, that's Arctic wind right there. Went from feeling like 0 to feeling like -10. When I make my coffee in the backcountry, I don't use any kind of creamer, but I bring hot chocolate and I use that instead. So it's kind of like a choco coffee. Choffee. A hot choffee. Nothing better than a hot choffee, I always say. Well, isn't that Murphy's Law? As soon as I pulled over here to go pee, you know, once I'm 30 feet from the boat and my ready to go freaking camera, an eagle comes over me at about, 20 feet off, 20 feet high, doing some National Geographic stuff. And there I am with the wrong lens in my hand. So I've sat here for another half hour with my camera in hand, just hoping that he would turn around and come back. He, she. But alas, nothing. Yeah, Murphy's Law. Oh, well, next time. We'll get him next time. I wouldn't have to wait long for next time. That afternoon I saw hawks, loons, some easily spooked mergansers, and had this fantastic osprey sighting. It flew over me a couple times, then it disappeared and came back over me with lunch in hand. Camp is looking a little better. I moved the tarp, changed the configuration, cut up a bunch of wood. Gonna have a bigger fire, a little more radiant heat. Time lapse. Happening as we speak. As we speak, as I speak, even though it's recorded. Another great day. Much nicer weather-wise than day one. Although getting up to the first snowfall of the season was interesting. But it was a nice, easy day. Just went for a nice little paddle around the lake. I didn't even hit the whole lake. It's pretty big. I probably hit about half the lake, upper half. Collected a bunch of firewood, relaxed. Did a little bit of reading. I'm starting to reread Into the Wild. I just recently watched the new documentary with revelations about what was really going on, seemingly really going on in the family, his family, which might make it a little more understandable about why he did what he did and why he thought the way he did. Christopher McCandless. Great book, but rereading it with slightly different background information puts a different spin on it. Good book, nonetheless. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're going to do. It's Friday. I was thinking I might do the Silver Peak hike. And it is supposed to be super windy tomorrow. So the hike up and down is like 5 hours. You can do it in 4.5 if you're just boogieing the whole way. For me, at my pace and taking photos and stuff, I'm probably looking at about 6 hours. So if I leave here at 9:30, it takes a half hour to get there. Start at 10, takes me to 4 to 4:35 to get back here. It's a full day. Red sky morning, sailor warning. Okay, it's official. We're doing the Silver Peak hike today. Listen to that wind. Man, I don't want to get like windbound. Stop thinking about it and just go. Okay, I may need to rethink my plans for today. I don't know if the wind is going to allow me to get across David Lake today. And I can't really hug the shore. At some point, I gotta like crack out and just go for it against the wind. Across a fairly large expanse of lake. Not sure how that's gonna work, but we're gonna give it a shot. I found a little respite here in the middle of the lake. It's actually not as bad as I thought. I think I should be okay. I still got a fair stretch to do here. I'm headed somewhere over there. And eventually up there. Well, I made it. Wasn't actually nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think I caught a lull. Look at this nice campsite. Pretty sweet. And now I'm just hunting for the start of this portage that will lead me to the trail. So Canoe is tucked away. I got it up there nice and snug just in case that wind picks up like they say it's going to. She's an uphill battle from here. I kept my watch, compass, and little bear blaster from my PFD, and everything else I've got in my pack. I took off my fleece pants because I just know I'd start sweating like mad, so I've got a pair of long underwear and shorts on. It's a good look. Whoa, it's gonna be a lot of that. Whoa, yeah. I'm gonna be slipping a lot today. Damp leaves covering everything. Pretty. Holy moly. Look at that color. Amazing. So I've done a short little climb. Somebody has put a little cairn here. And I guess if you're to continue on, you would go right. But I am going this way. Seems to be a trail here. It's really hard to tell with all the leaves. Okay, I am seeing markers along here, so this has got to be it. Thank God I got some new boots and good ones. I'm at my first little peak here. It looks down on a boundary. I just saw a bear. A big old black hiney scooting off into the woods. It's amazing. Natural steps. Pretty crazy. Well, that's where we're headed. You know, I gotta say, it is a little freaky being out here, knowing that I'm seemingly the only person out here. And I've just seen a bear when I was up at that first peak, and I know they're around here for sure, lots of them. So I'm out here all alone. In a pretty slippery, dicey, hikey situation. I feel really good that I have the Garmin, the InReach Mini with me. You know, as much as I don't like having that connection, I do like having that connection. In that one freaky situation where you roll an ankle, bust a femur, have your left leg torn off by a bear, that I've got at least some kind of come and get me messaging system. Oh, there's the beaver dam. Beautiful. This must ultimately head into Boundary. These sections of trail that don't have markers, that are typically very easy to find, are a little tougher to see because of this bed of leaves. Just kind of makes everything look the same. Got a little off track there, back by the beaver dam. Lost the trail for a second. He's huge. Huge, big guy. Look how slow he is. Mark can barely move. I can barely get up there. I almost stepped on him. Beautiful little bog, low-lying area here. God, I'm not convinced I'm on the right part of the trail. This is the continuation of the hiking path. And this is Silver Peak in black and silver. Case in point about the leaves kind of covering the trail. There's actually a wood boardwalk right along here, but you can barely see it. Frustration with the elevation. I need a libation. Check out these little fern gardens. A couple of big erratics halfway down this crazy hill. with a garden on top. I don't feel like I should be this out of shape for a 53-year-old man. And believe me, I know I'm out of shape. Woo! Boy, I needed that. I can't figure out what the source of this water is. There must be a spring up top. This can't be runoff from the snow. So I'm pretty sure I'm near the top. What a slog. Definitely had to stop for some water. I've sweat out at least a liter already. Ontario isn't exactly renowned for its mountain peaks or grand vistas, but Killarney does afford some amazing views. Atop Silver Peak you can see for many kilometers in every direction. It is a good thing that I brought a hat and some gloves so that I could stay up here because my clothes are all damp from sweating so much, but I'm okay now. That's the spot I had to cross this morning. That's where I'm camped, on this little island right there, on the back end of it. And you can see the wind is blowing from the south, so it shouldn't take me long to get home once I get in the canoe. That super tiny little island right there is where I stopped to rest on the way here. Look at the wind whipping across that lake. Where's this water coming from? I don't think there's any lakes up here. I'm happy to be going the direction that the water is now. It's so nice to be back in the canopy, out of the wind. It's probably hovering around, I don't know, 6 or 7 degrees. It's Friday today, and the weather is supposed to get really nice over the next couple of days, so I imagine people will start coming into the park for weekend trips and whatnot. But it was nice being up on Silver Peak and having it to myself, basically. It's me and the crows. There was about 10 crows just circling around, waiting for me to die. Look at that old coot. We'll be picking his gizzard in no time. Man, and that first big steep descent coming off the peak I had 2 or 3 dicey wipeouts where leaves were covering like big crevices, you know, and my foot went down in and jammed. I almost pinched my toe off one time, and I was being careful. At least I thought I was. I didn't expect this return hike to be so arduous, but it is. That's where I just came from. There's my crow buddies. It's the life, man, the bird life. You're such a Karen. Gross. It's the 5th or 6th one I've seen up here. Tasty bush chicken. Good to know that if I ever got stuck up here, I could hunt for those guys. I'm not much of a hunter though. But I got a bag of gorp. Alrighty, back in the boat. Feels good. I have no idea what this wind's going to be doing. I have a feeling I'll be able to creep along the shore and then jut out left and blast my way across. As I looked out over the lake, I could see lots of swirling dark patches. I remained fairly close to the shore for the first stretch. And when those first few gusts hit me, I knew I was in for a wild ride. This boat isn't particularly stable when it's empty. These gusts were forming and moving quickly. I felt relatively safe as long as I kept the nose into it. At this point, the gusts became a little much, and I decided to ride out some of it with the wind broadside. As long as I kept a solid wide brace, I felt stable. I could see a bit of a lull, so I decided to put the wind at my back and surf a bit towards the point I was aiming at. Needless to say, I was flying. This hull design has very little rocker and isn't particularly suited to this kind of swell riding. Once closer to the shore, I went back to the side brace and stayed there until I was safely around the corner. That is some of the diciest wind, open lake, cold water canoeing I've ever done. I don't know how it'll look on the GoPro, man, but it was kind of stupid of me to be out in the middle of that big lake with that kind of wind. Man, one rogue gust and I'd have been in the water, cold and in trouble. But I'm alive and I'm here, and I'm gonna go get a little more wood. Campers. Evening is settling in. Got a little time lapse going. I am just now coming down from that hectic canoe ride back. Hair raising. Holy. I do not want to do that again. It was kind of deceiving because it wasn't really whitecaps on the lake, but it was just whipping, swirling winds you just kind of couldn't get a beat on. Just poured myself a nice rum drink. I'll cool the nerves a little bit. Lesson learned. Next time, I'll probably wait it out. Glad I went and got that extra smattering of logs. I'm knackered. I don't even know if I'm gonna kind of do a big meal tonight. I probably won't go through the motions to boil water. It's a lot to ask of any man, really. I might just sit here by the fire, enjoy a drink, and go to bed. That's the update. So the wind has absolutely not let up. Still hammering out there. I'm actually in a really good campsite in that regard. Is that the wind is from the south and I'm facing north, so I have a big hump hill behind me. Lots of tree coverage. All right. Good night. We will see you in the morning. Bye-bye. Good morning. Nature's alarm clock has me up around 6:30. Oh my God, it's gonna be a beautiful day. Little sliver moon up there. The owls are just really active around here. More than one kind, too. I got woke up last night. I started up the GoPro, so you probably heard it, but very loud owl, very close to my tent. I think I'm gonna take down the tarp. It's supposed to be clear weather, so I'm not gonna need it. Little sunny Saturday morning camp vibes here in Killarney. I am so looking forward to just noodling around this lake today. I think that's all I'm gonna do. It's a big lake. Lots of little nooks and crannies. I'm just gonna get my camera all set up and just cruise around. The Toasty Rs 3000. Registered trademark. Patent pending. Found another use for it, and like it couldn't fit better. It kind of looks like I built it for that. The Toasty Rs 3000. Keeping arses warm since Sunbeam Dreams. I want to show you a little something that I made for this trip. It is called, this is a registered name, the Toasty Rs 3000. Now let me explain. Keeps my butt warm, less airflow under the old buttski. Makes a fantastic seat for when you're just sitting in the canoe in those chilly mornings, or kneeling pad. Anyway, it's amazing how it's lasted. That's the original duct tape. Quality manufacturing. 5-star rating. Pretty sweet. I can hear a generator. Just faintly. There's a couple cottage spots on this lake. The one that I'm across from, there's like a wood-fired hot tub. So far I haven't heard too much noise. But other than what I think is a generator, it's pretty faint. I haven't heard much noise out of them. Who's ready for a paddle? Air show. Jesus. I didn't hear any planes land here since I've been here. But 2 of them just took off from that little lodge, I guess, that's right across from me. And they're just ripping around, landing, taking off. Here they go again. So I just stopped at the end of a little bay, fairly big little bay. Poor little rich girl. Anyway, I just stopped to get a little bit of firewood, and there's bear poops all over there. There's like this little padded area. There's a fire pit there that hasn't been used in a couple of years, it looks like. But bears must, I mean, there's game trails all the way everywhere through here, of course, but some really obvious ones right through there, and then a whole bunch of bear turds. So the bears must just come there to sit, shit, and think. Just in case Mr. Show-Off Eagle comes by again, I'm gonna leave the camera out. After seeing the ass end of that bear from way up high there yesterday, I keep expecting to look up into the hills and see another bear butt scurrying into the woods. I stopped at this little island for a little late lunch break. And as I was going down towards the back end of it here, I found a little loon nest. Vacant. Little eggshell bits. And this must be the inside liner from the eggs. There's another one here. fired up like crazy again, which ultimately ended up being a good thing because there's a group of freaking yahoos arrived today at that lodge over there across from me. I didn't hear much of a peep until about 5 o'clock. Then 4 or 5 canoes all of a sudden set out with the loudest speaker box. I was like, what, do they have a full freaking stereo system in one of the canoes? Anyway, just blaring beats, singing along, banging the gunnels of the canoe with the paddles to the music. At least trying to. Music full blast. Just like a giant FU to all the other people on the lake. Not that there's that many, but clearly there are people camping on the lake. So that went on for like, I don't know, hour and a half. Tumble home out. Good morning. Good morning, Tumble Home watchers. Beautiful morning, not a cloud in the sky, and it looks like the wind is coming from the direction that I need to go. I don't have a super long way to go, so hopefully I can catch a few breaks here and there and make my way home. I think we'll be okay. Took down the Rockdomus, making some brekkie, leaving a nice little pile of wood for the next campers. Let's eat and be on our way. Okay, this is the corner. Once you turn the corner, you go back. Okay, this won't be so bad. As long as I have little lulls like this, doable. Very doable. Beauty. Boy, I like doing that. That's better. Pardon me? Seagull is chasing a hawk. I'm so happy I can take my time going home. I don't have to hammer it. Two loons over there doing their little lovey dance, nosing each other, swimming like in circle together. Lots of little spider web babies flying across the lake on their little strings. smell is incredible. Every time I come tripping this late in the year, the smell of the leaves takes me back to being a kid, jumping in piles of leaves. Well, campers, this is it. I'm about half an hour away from the takeout. Everything just went calm, still, hot, beautiful. So we'll wrap this one up here. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching my videos. It's nice to be able to share this stuff with people. I can't imagine actually going on a trip and not documenting it. I know that's kind of weird, but it's just the way it is. See you guys on the next one. Tumble Home out.